The world has gone mad. The news reports of invasions, of fighting, and of an economy that makes it difficult for everyday men and women to afford food and basic needs and supplies. Of course, we are anxious. We want to live in peace and stability. My name is Chidema Obisadenu. I'm the founder of My Freedom from Fear. Working with adults who have a long held fear of deep water, we developed a framework that works, that can also be applied by you to show you how to overcome anxiety in your life and help you live free from fear. Foundation number one, understand that feeling fear is normal. We are of the nature to feel fear. It is how the body tries to protect us. In fact, sometimes we cannot help feeling fear. This is because the part of the brain that triggers our fight, flight, freeze, panic response is triggered before the thinking part of our brain. So we jump when we hear gunshots and we run when we see something slithering. These occur before the thinking parts of our brain can kick in and confirm if we are really in danger. I've covered what happens in our body when we are afraid in another video. You can find it here. Understanding that feeling fear is normal allows us to not beat ourselves up simply because we're feeling anxious. We understand that the brain is simply doing what it feels like it needs to do to keep us safe, to keep us alive. It's bringing our attention to something that it thinks is unsafe around us. Anxiety is simply the brain's way of drawing your attention to something that it believes is unsafe for you. Foundation number two, even though feeling fear is normal, holding onto it is dangerous. It can even be deadly. Even though feeling fear is normal, we are not built to constantly be in a state of anxiety. When the brain triggers a fight, flight, or freeze response, it prioritizes the parts of the body that can help you fight or flee the threat it has identified. Your heart rate and your blood pressure go up as your body tries to get blood and oxygen to the big muscles of your arms and your legs. You breathe fast as your body tries to quickly get more oxygen into your lungs. Your pupils dilate to get as much light in as possible, and your vision becomes focused. You get tunnel visioned as you try to focus and auto focus on the perceived threat. Digestion of food and your immune system that fights diseases are made low in priority as blood, energy, and focus are diverted to the major muscles that can help you fight or flee. This state is meant to be temporary. It's meant to occur just enough to get you to fight or flee the threat. And then you're supposed to go back to normal. But if you're always in a state of anxiety, your heart rate and your blood pressure don't get the opportunity to go back to a normal state. You're not taking the deep, slower breaths that allow your body to go into relaxation. That you can't see the big picture and think critically. You start to have stomach, gastrointestinal problems as your food is not digesting optimally. You're constantly tired, you burn out quickly, and you get ill often as your immune system is compromised. It becomes harder for people to enjoy being around you as your anxious responses start to adversely affect your relationships. Being in a constant state of anxiety reduces the quality of your life and gets you closer to death's door. So, what do we do? Do we simply turn off the anxiety? No. Anxiety and the feeling of fear is your body's way of telling you that something is off. You need to get to the root cause of the fear or anxiety and deal with that. As Dr. John Deloney says, simply turning off the smoke alarm without tending to the fire means that your house will burn down. Therefore, don't simply try to manage your fear or avoid it. Avoidance proves your anxiety right. Your anxiety says you can't do the thing, whatever the thing is. Avoidance is you agreeing with your anxiety. Don't manage or avoid. Get to the root of the fear and anxiety and deal with it. For instance, for some of the people we work with who are afraid in deep water, they might have had an incident that occurred in the past that made them afraid. Maybe someone threw them into deep water in jest. Maybe they accidentally lost their footing and found themselves in deep water. Something triggered the fear. And as long as they hold on to that incident and use it as an excuse to avoid water, they cannot overcome their fear. This is why addressing the past incidents is a major part of our foundations course that teaches adults to overcome their fear and learn to self-rescue. Now, if the reason you're afraid is based on some trauma or hurt that you experienced in the past, then you will want to find a licensed therapist that you can work with to heal the trauma and move forward to a future that is free from that fear and anxiety. Foundation number 3, stay in your body, be present. Ground yourself in the present moment. Ground yourself in the here and now. Sometimes we're anxious because of the thoughts we are having. Bad or worst case scenario thoughts that make us feel that everything is not going to be okay. And sometimes we're anxious because of our memories. We remember a past betrayal, a past hurt, and our bodies remember the moment. Now, when something happens in the current day that is similar to the circumstance that led to us being hurt in the past, our bodies remember. We start to feel the anxiety whether or not we actively recall the past. If our anxiety is caused by something in our thoughts or in our memories, to overcome that anxiety, we need to get out of our head and back to the current moment, the present moment where it is actually safe. We do this by engaging our senses. What can we see right now? What can we smell right now? What can we hear right now? What can we touch right now? What can we taste right now? How are we feeling right now? Many grounding exercises engage our senses in one way or the other. Subscribe to our channel so that you can catch our grounding videos when we make them. Choose reality. If what is causing us to feel unsafe is occurred right now in the present moment, then having your full attention in the here and now is the best way to tackle the threat. You need all your senses alert and focused to deal with the threat. Do not bury your head in the sand and pretend that the situation you're in is safe if it is not. You may lie to yourself, but your body knows the truth, and your body will continue to ring the anxiety alarms until you take care of the unsafe situation. Foundation number 4, from a place of presence, practice the skills or take action. This is when you start doing. If you're overcoming a fear of deep water, this is a stage where we start to teach you the skills that you need to self-rescue out of deep water. Because your full attention is here, you're able to feel the water against your body and feel the water pushing you up towards its surface. By being present, you learn intuitively how to work with the water as opposed to fighting with the water. Taking action will not switch off your anxiety overnight, but you can start to practice the skills that can help get you away from that anxiety or fear. Practice in your comfort zone. A lot of programs that help you overcome fear work by systematically exposing you to the thing that makes you afraid. For instance, when overcoming a fear of deep water, we actually start our classes on land and we visualize when necessary. When we do get in the water, we start in the shallow end where your body and your brain know that it is safe, and you can start to make that association of water with safety and with comfort. And it's only after mastering skills in the shallow do we take them to the deep to practice. If you are in a relationship or in a place that gives you anxiety, taking action is you starting to devise a plan that either eliminates the fear or exits you out of the situation, depending on the next right move that you decided for that situation. Taking action may mean joining a community. Humans need other people who love and support them. And knowing that we have other people who will love and support us can help make us less anxious. Taking action may mean sleeping better, adopting an exercise regimen, cutting caffeine, or eating better. It may mean incorporating meditation or relaxation into your routine, or even getting time in nature. It may mean meeting with a doctor to address chronic pain or other issues you might be experiencing. Taking action may mean getting help. It may mean delegating more so that you're less overwhelmed with all the things that you're carrying. It may mean setting better boundaries and saying no to things that do not serve you. Taking action may mean living a simpler life, taking on less debt, or getting rid of the debt you currently have. It may mean not trying to keep up with the Joneses and opting out of the rat race. Taking action may mean journaling to get things off your chest. Foundation number 5, change what you believe to lean into truth. Some of the beliefs we have about ourselves keep us afraid. We believe that we're easily replaceable, so we compromise our values and do whatever we think is required to be chosen. We believe that we are lacking, so we don't ask for the promotion and we don't apply for the job. We accept the labels that tell us that we don't have what it takes. What you may not realize is that your beliefs drive what you do, and what you do result in what you experience. So if you want to live a life free from anxiety, you need a belief system that fosters an anxiety-free life. This means that you will need to examine the things that you believe. What are those limiting beliefs that you have that are keeping you small and afraid? What do you believe that keeps you from seeking and getting the help that you need? And to the extent that you know the truth about your situation, then lean into it. And when I say truth or the truth, I'm talking about objective truth, the type of truth that does not change from person to person, the type of truth that is constant no matter where you go. If you have to say this is my truth, then it's not the truth, because it's true for you does not make it true for everyone. My truth, your truth are your limiting beliefs, and they must give way to the truth. An example of objective truth is scientific law. If there is a scientific law that applies to the situation, then lean into it. For instance, for deep water, some of the scientific laws that govern are the laws of gravity and the laws of buoyancy. Understanding what that means for your body and how your body floats helps you shed unhelpful beliefs about your body sinking like stone and that falling in deep water means certain death. Another example of objective truth is the kind that we as humans inherently know. It was to these truths that Thomas Jefferson alluded in the United States Declaration of Independence from the British Empire. Specifically, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Whether or not you practice this, you know these to be true. Your conscience bears witness to it. Some refer to them as the highest ideals. These truths include, but are not limited to, the need of humankind for identity, purpose, freedom, community, justice, conscience, forgiveness, redemption, love. All humans are born with inherent and equal value, and that we all have spirit. These truths I will call spiritual law. To seek and understand the nature of these truths, some of us turn to the results of exploration of spiritual people over time. We reference spiritual texts. But remember, for it to be objective truth, it must resonate regardless of the religion. For instance, I am Christian, and my exploration of spiritual law is through the Bible. So when I'm afraid, I go to the Bible and I find verses like 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, which says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind." And that helps me to lean out of the fear and lean into a belief system that tells me that I am powerful, that I am of love, and that I have a sound mind. Laying and applying these 5 firm foundations for freedom from fear to whatever anxiety or fear-inducing situation that you're encountering will help you live a life free from anxiety and fear. I know you may not feel fearless now, but hang with me and we'll get there together.